guys, I'm just gonna dive right into this website because I am too excited. I just want to get on with this organisation task and I can't wait to take you guys along for the ride. So hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Elle. I'm a comfort content creator covering all sorts of things on this channel. Today we're doing a really exciting thing, which is we are doing my seasonal wardrobe switchover, and I'm so excited to do this. I usually do this twice a year, so it's normally around October, November time, March, April time, or April, May, depending on when the weather starts warming up and we need lighter layers. But I do this seasonal switchover twice a year. We don't do it up more than that because in the UK we don't have a variety of weather, so very much autumn, winter has just kind of come together, spring, summer has just come together. And then we do have a separate one in terms of winter snow stuff and then also holiday box as such. I love doing this organisation. It is one of my favourite things to do. It just gets me really in the mood for the next season ahead when I do it, particularly this time because it's knitwear. I am obsessed with an autumn winter wardrobe, so I'm excited to get all the knitwear out and start getting snuggly and stylish and just get all the cozy vibes into my wardrobe and my personal style. But I love doing it. I love having an organisation task. I usually do it on my own, just with some music or a TV series in the background, really get into it. But I thought I'd take you guys along for the ride because I'm introducing more of my personal style to you guys over the past couple of webisodes that we've been doing. And I've also been talking about like my longevity of my wardrobe. Like I just discovered one of the jumpers that I've been wearing constantly has been in my wardrobe rotation for about 4 years plus, but it looks really good and new if I say so myself. So I really wanted to do somewhat of a not TED Talk video where I kind of go through the whole process of how I do the wardrobe switchover, what I'm thinking in terms of personal style, etc, etc, how I also take care of my clothes from footwear to everything else, like all the processes that I go through, like everything I would do off camera I'm going to do for you guys so you can see the full process. Hopefully I cover everything. If there's anything that I miss out or you have questions on, let me know in the comments below and I will either respond there or I'll make a TikTok video if I feel like I need to go into more detail about it. So let's talk about this wardrobe. As I said, it's autumn winter time. I kept a couple of pieces of knitwear. I always do for spring summer because particularly in springtime when the weather gets a bit cooler you do want like a little extra thing just in case it gets a bit nippy. Particularly in the UK it seems like we go through 4 different like equators when it comes to like some of the transitional seasons. Like we've had like for the like a couple of weeks ago it was like we were in Spain one moment, then we were in Antarctica the next. So you really just want to make sure you have a variety of options depending on what season wakes up with you. But I've noticed I've been wearing the same knitwear over and over again on the weekend, particularly as I'm editing these episodes and just going, there's no variety to the way I look. And so I really wanted to make sure that we got some options out to, you know, have available so that I can stay cozy, I can stay warm, but also stylish and not look like I already own 2 tops. I'm also using this as an opportunity to really redefine my wardrobe. I started a little series over on my TikTok at the beginning of this year called my Reinvention Era series. A lot of that was focused on my wardrobe and really just like what is the style that I want to take into my new era of my life. And I think this is going to be a next wave of it. Even though I did a lot of culling and donations in terms of what I had available, taking them out, taking them to the charity shops, I feel like there's so much more I can do to my autumn winter wardrobe. I'm just in such a different place than where I was at the beginning of this year, and I'm really on a mission to redefine my wardrobe. I describe myself as a coastal grandmother. I just love that kind of Nancy Myers look. Who doesn't want to look like a main character? But I have really noticed over the past couple of months that my style is incredibly simple, incredibly chic, if I say so myself, but it is just about very neutral pieces and elevating them to the next level. I'm going to put up a mood board here of all the different things that I love and the style that I want to take into my next era of life. Call it turning 35 in a month's time or whatever it is. I just feel like there is I'm entering a new transition of life and I feel like my wardrobe is going to go with me on that. I want to simple down. I want pieces that stand the test of time, that just work, are comfortable to wear, that can mix and match, so I don't need like a whole wardrobe, even though I have 3 doors worth of wardrobe behind me. But I don't want like a massive walk-in wardrobe room. That used to be a goal of mine back in the day, but now I'm just like, as long as I've got pieces that work, that go together, like nothing relies on only one pair of trousers in order for me to wear that top, like everything can just mix together, I am happy. I just want that variety of like simplicity in my wardrobe. Hopefully that all makes sense to you guys. So I have been buying a few pieces that I have hung on the door and also on the bed. The coat arrived, guys. If you watch my previous vlog, you will have seen me talking about this coat, so I'm going to show it off to you guys. Hopefully the clickbait worked. But we are going to show you some pieces, and this is going to be the example of like, I don't want too much, I just want pieces that are going to work, that are going to do their stuff and stand the test of time. So this is what I'm going to hopefully get out for myself at the end of the wardrobe, and maybe I'll inspire you guys to do something similar with your wardrobe. Maybe you'll take all the tips, maybe you'll take none of the tips. Whatever it is that motivates you to be comfortable in your clothing and your style, good on you guys. So how this is going to work, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take everything out of these wardrobes. As I said, these are the three doors that belong to me. My husband has like one little tiny door over there, but we don't talk about that. I needed space. I will say also, I'm saying take everything out. I'm not going to take everything out of this door because this is coats. I haven't got the arm strength to do that, but take everything out. We're going to give it a good clean because it's not been cleaned in a while. We're then going to go through everything on the bed, work out what it is that we're keeping, what it is that we're going to put into storage for next season, and what it is that we're going to be donating. And then we're also going to make some stuff to one side where we're going to spend the evening in front of TV, probably Scandal, because I'm rewatching it again, guys, and back in love with Olivia Pope. But we're going to spend the evening looking after our clothes and taking care and doing these tips to make sure that our clothes are ready for the season ahead. So I'm going to stop talking because I have been rambling on long enough. I've got my stylist over there. You can see him in the mirror, little Dashy on the bed. He's going to help me decide what we are going to keep and what we're going to stay, aren't you, baby? Yes, you are, because you're such a good stylist. Although you are going on W's in a bit with your dog walker. She's going to come in a bit. But you're going to help me, aren't you? Because you're such a good boy. Anyway, I'm rambling. Let's get you guys set up and let's start clearing these wardrobes. I'm hoping, by the way, guys, you can see me. It's very, very gloomy. It's still very early. It's not even 9:30 yet. But I'm just ready to get on with this task as such. I do get a bit worried about filming, particularly because, like, this room looks so dark at the moment. There is light coming, it's just so early in the morning, like it hasn't quite hit the bedroom yet. And I always get a bit worried that my videos aren't the best quality, but I just, you know, we have to do with what we've got. We've only got certain days in the week in order to film, so we just got to take it as it comes. I'm gonna stop rambling. Let's get into the wardrobe. Okay, wardrobe has been cleaned and cleared out. I use a very simple multi-purpose spray. This is actually Cedar and Fig Zaflora. I don't think this actually exists anymore. I bought this like a couple of years ago and I've just been rationing it because it smells incredible. If I can find a cleaner that smells like this, I will absolutely invest in it because it's just a lovely, gorgeous scent, and I love how now my wardrobe smells. I love giving my wardrobe a good clean because this is part of clothes maintenance. We can't have a dirty wardrobe as our clean clothes are just going into a dirty space. So I try and clean it like once a month, like usually just quick wipe as like I'm like in there. I don't like fully take everything out and give it a good clean, but I do like to give it a good scrub at least twice a year just to make sure that it's in tip-top shape and ready and raring to go. And as you can see, even with a little bit of regular maintenance, dust builds up. So just make sure you're cleaning your wardrobe, guys. Now that is done, let me show you what's on the bed situation and the kind of thought process from there. Okay, so as you can see, everything has been pulled out of the wardrobe. The only things I haven't pulled out are the things from the drawers, because they're not exactly seasonal. They're like gym wear, PJs, etc, etc, so we keep those in there. And as I mentioned, coats, because I just don't have the arm strength to take all that wool out. So we're going to go through each pile. They're separated by which section they came out of. This is probably the main pile, because it's the everyday stuff that I wear. That will be the one to start organising stuff. You can see there is a little bit of a pile already being made of like spring summer dresses that have just been sitting in my ironing basket until this moment, because I'm not going to iron them if I'm about to put them in storage for several months. Like, that's future Elle's problem. So I'm going to go through each and every pile, organise them out, things into places of what we are keeping in the wardrobe, what we're going to put away in storage, what we're going to donate, etc, etc. Also pulled out bags, shoes, hi dash dash. That bag also needs to go away. That's a summer bag. As such, there's other boxes behind there that we'll get to in a bit. And then I also pulled out, you'll see like I have my Ralph Lauren box, just because I'm not ever going to get rid of that. That's always on display with my blazers. And then over here is my perfume collection that I keep in my wardrobe, because someone said about keeping perfume out of direct sunlight makes it last longer. So I always keep it in a dark room. But as you can see, we can get rid of some of these things. So we're going to get organising and see what we need to just get rid of these bottles and really simplify it down. We need to hydrate for this. So I'm going to start with the easiest stuff, which is going to be this section here, because this is going to be a simple yes or no situation of what's staying, what's going. I'm avoiding my problems by leaving this on to the last. I just think there's going to be a lot of like umming and ahhing, and I'm probably going to start, you know, like disassociating when it gets a bit too much for my neurospicy brain. So you might see me disassociate in this video. It might happen. I need to, yeah, my laptop's over there. I thought I'd like buried my laptop at one point. I lost my phone in dumping everything on the bed and then found it. So I might just put that on in the background as I'm sorting stuff out. And yeah, let's just stop avoiding the inevitable and let's start organising our clothes. God almighty, that was a lot. We're taking a comfort break on the bed because yeah, I'm starting to disassociate. I was like, oh, why did I even start this task? But it's worth it because I've been so cathartic with everything, like just no emotions, get it out, and I feel like 10 times lighter now that I've done all of this. My wardrobe, particularly my tops, were just overflowing. There were things like I had a shirt that I had literally just ironed a few weeks ago that is like completely creased, just because everything has been squished in there. So it was just nice to kind of, like I said, no emotions, just get rid of everything, throw it out, you know, forget it, it's all good, it's gone, etc, etc. So I'm glad that I did this exercise just to kind of get everything out and just allow my wardrobe to breathe, which is one of the main tips. Is you do have to let your wardrobe breathe. Like, it can't just survive on just like all crammed in space. You've got to give it movement, you've got to let air flow, etc, etc, and you've got to make sure your clothes aren't creased. I know I'm the only millennial in the world right now that irons, but I like crispy shirts and I like all my stuff to be nice and crisp without creases. Sorry, not sorry. It's just the way I roll with my clothes. But yeah, I have been really, really ruthless. We've got a lot of stuff out that is just going into the seasonal stuff. So things like really light blouses, my one pair of linen trousers. Now, I did keep my black pair of linen trousers out because they are very good for like hanging out at home. There's something I discovered this time last year, particularly because I work from home 3 days a week. It's nice to have a pair of non-leggings to walk around in, and they're just really good to wear with a pair of like a jumper or nice light knitwear, etc, etc. So I kept the black ones in because they're universal, but everything else has gone into storage. Top wise though, I was the most ruthless when it came to like what I am donating to charity. I got rid of one jacket, which was this kind of quilted jacket. It's lovely, but it just hits me so wrong, and I kind of knew from like day 2 of wearing it that it probably wasn't right for me, but I persisted. But I'm just admitting it's not a style that suits me, so that has definitely gone in the donation pile. I also just had 1,000,001 M&S basic white tees, which, don't get me wrong, rate M&S for basic stuff, like they're great, but I just had white t-shirts for the sake of, you should always have a white t-shirt in your wardrobe, and I just haven't reached for them, particularly because I invested in these white tees that are just a little bit oversized, longer sleeves that I feel so much more comfortable in. So just cleared it out, just completely cleared it out. There's also a few things that I might review once I come to put things back in my wardrobe, and this is just the season of like wardrobe like transitioning, is you kind of have a moment, and then as you're putting things back and you're really taking care and attention, I might just have another little edit as things go back in, particularly when I get the boxes down, start going through the autumn winter stuff, and then start really deciding like what is staying and what is going. There's just a few things where I'm like, oh, I do wear that for work, but it's not like my favorite thing, and I want to feel great no matter what, whether it be lounging at home, being a slob kebab, or going into the office. Like, I just want to make sure everything works. So I'm gonna go get the boxes from upstairs. This is the fun part. Get them, bring them down, start getting things out. I'll get my husband's stuff out as well, although I'm not doing his wardrobe transition. He is a grown-up, he can do that himself, but I will certainly just put his stuff to one side so he can review and start putting things away as and when he wants to. Although his wardrobe tends to be the same throughout. I'm not gonna lie, he's probably the only person that doesn't really have like spring, summer, autumn, winter. He wears everything seasonally. Maybe he's not the only person, maybe that is just a boy thing, but I'm just like, do you not like separate things like just a little bit? But he's fine, and you know what, if that floats your boat, go for it. So yeah, let me go and get the boxes. I think, well, I'm saying boxes, I think it's just one box. Let's go and get the box down. Let's bring out the knitwear. Okay, there wasn't as much to organise. I felt like I had more, but I must have really culled the last time I did this. I've put knitwear over there because we're going to work on that in a moment. and I think I've got these like 2 of these basics, one in cream and one in black, that I'm like, I've clearly kept because they're a basic, but I don't know whether I'm going to keep them or not. I might keep them for this season. If I don't wear them this year, then they're definitely going to be donated. But yes, knitwear over there for the moment. Let me take you into my hallway and show you the madness. Okay, so out here, which is just the bench of doom, we've got things that need throwing. This here is the pile to go into that box. I've lost words. So that's all going to get packed away for next year. And then this little section here is just everything that I am donating. It's not working anymore. We're going to let someone else give it a better home than I have. Okay, we are almost at the finish line. We've done the main bits. Now it's just tidying up, organising, and then doing a little bit of care and attention to stuff. I feel like I'm like QVC at the moment, stuff next to this, but I wanted to recommend this as a project that I would tell everybody to invest in. Particularly if you live in the UK, you don't have access to a tumble dryer or want to tumble dry all your clothes. As the weather is getting bad, we're bringing everything in to dry. It's taken about 7 years on normal drying rack to do so. Like, if you are looking for a heated drying rack, I cannot recommend this enough. It is literally Black & Decker, and that's a DIY brand here in the UK. She is my workhorse during the year. We invested in her last year, and I have literally not regretted a single penny that I spent on her, because she just works so hard. I love her to bits. Yes, she's big. She's about the same size as me. I'm 5'2" for reference, so she takes up some space. Usually she lives upstairs in my home office, and I just look at her when I'm working from home, but my home office is being taken over by storage at the moment. It's a story for another time. But yeah, I can't fit this up there. So she now lives in the bedroom, and she's lovely to look at when you wake up first thing in the morning. But it is worth it, because I literally get so much washing dried, done and dusted, out of the way, and it's just the best thing ever. The stuff you just saw me take off the drying rack was stuff that I put on yesterday. It's dried completely, like insanely quickly, and I'm just so happy. I do believe the cover, which is a recent investment that we made, usually we didn't have a cover, we used to put an old like double fit sheet over the top, but the cover has made a massive difference to trapping in the heat and just keeping it nice and toasty. In terms of cost to run, it's pence per hour of kilowatts. It's so economical and cheap and eco-friendly to run, and it does heat up this room as well, which is why we haven't turned on the central heating, because I'm a cheapskate and I won't turn it on until November. But this is helping to warm up the bedroom at night, so it's perfect for that situation. But I can't recommend it enough. It is an investment. I think the drying rack itself was about 100 and something, and the cover is like 30 quid. That seems a lot, but like cost per use and how much I get this like out of it in terms of just my clothes drying in a gentle way that's not going to ruin them, it's 100% worth the investment, and I would just recommend this to everybody. Again, particularly if you live in the UK and you need something to dry things on, I cannot recommend. Why didn't we have these before? I spent so much time like having them on drying racks that did nothing, and now I have this and it's an absolute dream. Like, she's just my BFF at winter time, because she just looks after my clothes and just keeps them just beautiful. Can't recommend her enough. So next steps, as I stop rambling about my best friend over here, I have put some knitwear to one side. We're about to do some care and attention, which I'm going to talk through to you guys in a bit. I've got the box down here ready to go upstairs, and I also pulled out, if you care to let me show you, all this. So I had a couple of like going out dresses that were stuffed in here. They must have just got filed wrongly is the only way to put it, but I do have a separate box for this stuff. So I have like a box dedicated to some special winter coats that aren't really part of my everyday wearing, but I'm a hoarder and I love outerwear, so I just can't part with it yet. And then all my like going out dresses. So originally these used to live in the cupboard where the summer basket is currently hanging on, and that was just a wasted space there in terms of taking up room. They don't fit in the main wardrobe, they would live with the coats, but because I have quite a few of these like dresses that I've collected over the years, like they just take up space. So it's not the most ideal solution to have them cramped in a box, but because going out is few and far between in terms of needing sparkles and everything like that, it is the best solution for now. My hope is, and you will have heard me talk about this if you've watched my TED talk about my renovation plans for our first home, I'll link it down below. It's worth a watch, but make sure you get a good drink first because it's a long one. I go on for an hour, but it's 100% worth it if you're nerdy about home renovation stuff. But the plan is in this room is to split it into two. So where you are now will be where the wall is to the second bedroom home office situation. What I am planning to do is repurpose these packed wardrobes. So the double one here that kind of goes into the corner, that's going to be repurposed into the DIY, you know, where it looks like a built-in wardrobe situation, because why waste what we've already got? And I will create a built-in wardrobe situation, but because it's going to be part of my home office guest bedroom situation, my thinking is that I will probably use the hanging space in there to hang up all the coats, to hang up all the going out dresses, etc, etc. So they've just got a little bit more care and attention, a place to hang, because it's going to be a space that I'm not going to use that often. Like it's literally going to be for when guests come over, so I might as well use it for hanging up those pieces that I don't need to reach on an everyday basis. Again, watch the video, it explains everything, because we're moving upstairs, it's going to be a whole situation with that wardrobe, etc, etc. It goes into detail, so it's worth the watch if you do love renovation stuff. So yeah, I think for the moment it works. It's not the most ideal situation, but we've got to do with what we've got when it comes to storage, because you know, I didn't own this house originally, I was renting it, there's not much I can do, and now that I own it, there is a lot I can do once the funds come in. So yeah, I'm excited to kind of start making some stuff that I've been dreaming about come to fruition and a reality. Yeah, can't you tell? I'm really excited to start renovating this space. Like, I'm just ready and raring to go. So yeah, I'm going to move the boxes upstairs. I'm going to start hanging up the main wardrobe. You would have seen that I already put the blazers away. There was no point in keeping those out. We know what it is. And the coats stayed where they were, because again, no strength in the arms. So I'm going to start putting the main clothes away. Might be a bit of editing. I'm going to show you what I do when it comes to caring for clothes and putting them back in. So they will start to kind of go back in there, and then it will be a case of just sitting down relaxing and doing a bit of TLC when it comes to my knitwear and stuff, which again, can't wait to talk you through, guys. I feel like this has been a very chatty video, so hopefully this has been interesting as such. I love these types of videos. When anyone posts about having a wardrobe clear out or an organisation thing, I'm locked in. I'm like, yes, show me everything, give me all the tips. So hopefully you guys are feeling the same. Anywho, let's get these upstairs, let's get the box upstairs, start making floor space again, and yeah, let's crack on and finish this job. Okay, so as everything goes back into my wardrobe, one or two things happen. First off, everything gets put on a velvet hanger. I will link these down below. I swear by these, they're an Amazon basic. I have so many of them. I love them. First off, they just look chic that everything is on a matching hanger. It just looks gorgeous. I'm very, very happy with it. It helps to be kinder on your clothes than the plastic ones, so absolutely love them for that reason. And they take up less width. As you can see, that's how thin they are. So it just means you get more bang for your buck in terms of how much you can fit into your wardrobe, which is always a plus. As well as that, everything gets sprayed with this. So this is not technically the same spray that you would, but I will link it down below. So this is a company called The Lab Co. I love a lot of their products. Like, they're so gorgeous and smelling. And I originally got this cashmere and wool laundry mist, which is cedarwood, cinnamon, myrrh, etc, etc. I have since repurposed this and made my own spray, which is why it looks a little bit different in the bottle. just because I am that nerd person that wants to create my own signature scent. I will, as I said, link everything down below. I am promising you guys a video how to do it. I've already talked about this on my TikTok. People want a tutorial on it. I'm just waiting, as you can see, to use this up before I refill it. So that video will come very, very soon, and it'll be on YouTube Shorts and on TikTok once it goes live. So make sure you're following me both on there so you don't miss out on that video if you're interested in how to make your own fabric spray. But everything gets 1 or 2 spritz, goes back in the wardrobe, everything smells gorgeous, and my signature scent, which I absolutely love. So I'm going to stop yapping to you, start putting everything back in the wardrobe, and then we can crack on with care and maintenance. Everything also, by the way, hangs in my wardrobe with what I call tits to the left. It's just how we used to merch everything when I used to work in retail. So the hook goes inwards, everything faces that way. It's easier to shop in terms of how you merchandise the shop floor. I was a nerd back when I was a little retail girl, so I learned these things, and these stick to my wardrobe to this day. I even finger space still. Like, this is where you know you've worked in retail for a while. I worked in retail since I was 13 years old, but like even when I'm shopping, I will finger space as I go along. It's just like ingrained to me, just to make sure everything is nice and neat and organized, even when it's not my own shop. But yeah, I will just always have an order. Everything also goes colorway, so it starts lightest to darkest, starts also from like style, so it's vests, t-shirts, blouses, shirts, jumpers. I don't fold my knitwear. I know that you should do, but I prefer it hanging. I may change that once we have more space, but for now I like my knitwear hanging as such. And then everything also goes in sleeve order. So it starts with the shortest to the longest. I am a nerd, I love organisation. It helps me get organised and know what's in my wardrobe. Don't judge me. Don't knock it until you try it, guys. Okay, so seasonal wardrobe switchover is now complete. I am obsessed. I'm back in love with my clothes. Like, I'm just like, this is perfection. I want to wear everything. I don't know if it's because the clothes, the colours, the tones all match my palette for what I am. So a while back I did ChatGPT to figure out what type of season I was, which is something you guys can do. If you just get the hex colour for your skin, your eyes and your hair, you can ask it to kind of give an analysis. Obviously the professionals are going to give you a lot more accurate. It's just unfortunately something I can't afford right now, and I'd love to do it. it's a luxury I'd like to do one day. But ChatGPT said that I was a soft autumn, which is all those kind of burgundies, browns, creams, etc, etc. And that is mainly what my autumnal wardrobe, winter wardrobe has always been made up of. So now when I look at it, I'm like so inspired, because it's just all those tones, it's all those colours, it's just like, oh, perfection. So I'm excited to get dressed again. I think this is the thing, I love autumn winter dressing. Spring summer is not my jam, so maybe this is where I need to start improving in terms of like what I have available in my spring summer wardrobe. So something to bear in mind for the next seasonal switchover in terms of investments into pieces that we want to wear throughout the rest of the year as such. But yeah, so excited to get back into dressing again, which sounds so weird, but sometimes you need this. So you need a little bit of a cathartic clear out to suddenly get inspired again. So I just spent the afternoon debobbling all my jumpers. It's something I do, and it's the #1 thing I'd recommend when it comes to knitwear, to get it to look like it is expensive and look well looked after, particularly if you go for high street knitwear. Let's face it, like, I love the high street, it's obviously where I am in terms of buying my clothing, but I always want to like elevate it to the next level and look after it. And this is where the care and attention comes in terms of how you wash it, how you dry it, how you take care of it as such. So the #1 thing I recommend is investing in a debobbler. This is from Steamery, I'll link it down below. I also have the actual steamer, which is great. It's a really lovely tool. It just takes off the layer of like where you see the little bubbles, and I think that is what takes your outfit from there to the next level, is those attention to details and removing the bobbling. I also have a cashmere comb for more fine knitwear pieces, because I do have 1 or 2 pieces that I have invested in that this would be too harsh for, but it's so good for just taking out the layer. It instantly transforms your knitwear. It's very therapeutic to do in front of a couple of episodes of Scandal, so highly recommend it, because it's such a good investment piece, and it is stood the test of time when it comes to looking after my wardrobe. And then something you would have seen me do is a little niche, but I was polishing my boots. So my dad was a sergeant in the Royal Air Force. I grew up with him every Sunday polishing his boots. It had to be done. They had to have like the shiny toe cap. Like, he taught me how to do that, and ever since then, like, I have always just polished my shoes. Like, even my school shoes, I'd just sit with my dad and we would polish our shoes together ready for the week. It's like ingrained in me. It is the #1 thing I would recommend when it comes to looking after boot wear. It is just so good for any sort of leather shoe that you have. I don't have too many leather shoes. I have invested in a pair of duo boots, which I'm obsessed with. I absolutely love them. 100% leather. They're the first boots that I've ever found that fit my calf size, because I've always had quite wide calves and I always struggle with knee-high boots, even though they're one of my favorite things to wear, and they're incredible. They're an investment. I want to get another black pair because my like faux leather black boots are starting to peel. I have had them for nearly 6 years, so it is time, but I just love it. And yeah, polishing is one of the things that will help keep the leather soft, help fix imperfections, just help them look gorgeous. So polish your boots, guys. I got these off Amazon. This is just a polish cloth, and this is just beeswax, which is infused with orange essential oil, so it smells great. But yeah, you don't have to do it every week. You don't have to be obsessed like I was. I do this probably once a month. Just give it a good top up, give them a good condition, clean, etc, etc. And that is what helps your clothes stand the test of time. Also with my boots, I do have shoe horns. You would have seen them, and I'll link them down below. I want to get wooden ones just because I'm bougie like that, but they help keep their shape, they help keep them sturdy, and I would always keep any packaging you get when it comes to boots, particularly the toe ones, just keep those in your toes. Not only does it help to stretch it so it's a little bit more comfortable to wear, but it just helps them keep their shape and last longer. So I can't recommend enough just looking after your clothes. It seems like such an obvious step, but it's the one that a lot of people miss, and it's the one that makes the most difference when it comes to like taking your wardrobe from a chic to elevation as such. In terms of what's next for my wardrobe, I have been very much inspired to get a few extra different things. As I mentioned, I'm kind of describing my style as like coastal grandmother, frugal chic. I want to be that person that just has those really timeless classic pieces that just stand the test of time and just look perfect from season to season, and I really want to make sure that like I've got the basics and I want everything to match. So certain things I think I really do need to invest in is shoe wear, particularly flats. I wear a lot of flats. I'm very rarely in a heel, but I always go for like the dirt cheap little ballet flats because I just know I'm going to go through them because I wear them just so often at a time. So I think I want to look at investing in a couple of pairs of flats that I can mix out, that are comfortable to wear but will last the test of times. Shoes are not something I 100% always invest in, like apart from the boots and my APL trainers, which I can't recommend enough. They're so good, but other shoes, because of the way I walk, I'm just reluctant to invest in like designer shoes or anything like that. But I think it's time just to take it to the next level and just try it and see what happens. So I'm definitely going to be looking into that as such. I definitely want to invest in denim. I think like it's time for me to start maybe not necessarily going up a price bracket, but I want to get less of like the denim with the elastic in it. I want to get like kind of proper sturdy denim that's going to look gorgeous the more I wear it as such. I'm very basic. It's a blue wash and a black wash, you know, we don't need to go into anything else. So I want to have a look into that and just get myself more confident. I do know that I wear my leggings way too much. I'm very much a millennial. I got stuck in wearing leggings and an oversized tee or an oversized jumper, and I just want to play around with bottoms more in my wardrobe. That is a weird sentence to say, but hopefully you guys know what I mean. Like I just want to mix it up a little bit, and I've certainly been in there with like linen trousers, my wide trousers that I wear for work. So I really want like an elevation of that into my everyday wardrobe. Even like a pair of like silky trousers I can wear around the house I think would be perfect for just taking a casual at home look to the next level that isn't just wearing my leggings. And then the other pieces, I was just like finding pieces that kind of stand the test of time that I don't have to buy multiples for, which leads me nicely into my purchase that I have been teasing you guys as such. Are you ready? Eee! This is the coat, guys. So I'm going to put on the screen some clips of me trying this on, but I saw this actually through Lydia Millen advertising it. I think it was like the beginning of this year. This is the Holland Cooper one size coat in sort of the mid cut. So there's a longer version and this is the short version of it, but the way it just hits perfectly of just like just on the butt, if that makes any sense. I remember seeing it and I thought, that is the coat I need for dog walking. Like I have got several different coats. I've got like my barber jacket, I've got a puffer jacket, I've got a light one, and they just don't all work. Apart from a barber jacket, let's give the MVP a good shout out because she does do well. But in terms of like a proper raincoat that's going to protect me, particularly this time of year, I've got nothing that can kind of stand up to that. So when I saw that, I was like, that is the perfect dog walking coat. So I went and got it. I decided to go for black because there's obviously the green, the brown, and the navy, I think. And ultimately I was like, the black one is just going to be a one size fits all perfection for like going for dog walks. It's going to go with any outfit. It is so big and oversized, which is incredible. I know that I will be able to wear a thick jumper onto this, which is the best thing ever. What you don't want to do is when you come to the dog walking coats is have to change a different outfit in order to take your dog out. So this is going to be perfect for throwing on. It's lined with fleece, which is great. I have a feeling that this is probably a coat I'm going to chuck on going to work. Like if I don't have to go out and put one of my smart coats on, I feel like this is just going to live with me in the car, where I can just chuck it on if I'm running to the shops, like in between the office and such. Like I just can see this being constantly on me. So prepare to be sick of this. I'm so glad I made the investment though, and this is what I'm talking about when it comes to investing in my clothing. I want to, you know, if I have to spend a bit of money, yes, but if this coat lasts me for the next 10+ years, so be it. Like I'm happy with that because I just want to have things that work and then I don't have to worry about them again. And that's not to say that I don't love fashion and I don't want to experiment and get different pieces every now and then. I'm just, as I said, I feel like I'm becoming a very frugal chic. I'm just becoming frugal, but I want to be chic about it. So I just want to make sure like pieces that I'm investing in are worth it and going to be worth me putting my money there. So that's kind of where I am. I'm very much inspired now to go and sit down and just have a little internet browsing, internet shopping situation, just look at some new pieces that are looking gorgeous and inspire me. I might make a blog post about some of the pieces for the new season that I'm very much interested in purchasing. So if you want to see that, that, head to my blog. It's in the link in the bio. It's aneditedlifestyle.com. I've had my blog since the beginning. I'm probably the only person that still has a blog on the internet, but it is my OG, it's my baby. I can't get rid of it. So I very much like to keep that update as much as possible and getting back into the swing of things. So check out there. I'm sure I'll have something that will just highlight some of the key pieces that I think makes a great curated capsule wardrobe. And that's it, guys. That is the end of the episode. Thank you so much if you stuck towards the end. I can only imagine how big this video is, but I wanted to make sure it was informative. I really wanted to inspire any other L's out there to be like, okay, I'm going to clean out my wardrobe this weekend. So if you are inspired by this, let me know in the comments below. And yeah, I'm excited to get dressed for autumn winter now I've got everything out. If you did like this video, guys, please like, rate and subscribe. What are all the things that you're meant to do? I completely forgot then. I was like, what am I meant to be asking people? But no, any support you guys give me is much appreciated. Like, I really do love this corner of the internet. I'm so glad I'm back to doing regular content. I'm just absolutely loving being creative and just doing all the videos, creating content for you guys that you guys seem really receptive to. So thank you so much, guys, for all your help and support. Other than that, guys, have a lovely rest of your day, have a lovely rest of your week, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Bye!